The idea shared by many that life is a vale of tears is just as false as the idea shared by the great majority, the idea to which youth and health and riches incline you, that life is a place of entertainment. If a man earnestly seeks a righteous life, his first act of abstinence is from animal food. Everyone thinks of changing the world, but no one thinks of changing himself. True life is lived when tiny changes occur. Are we not all flung into the world for no other purpose than to hate each other and so to torture ourselves and one another? Everybody thinks of changing the world, but no one thinks of changing themselves. The whole world is divided for me into two parts. One is she, and there is all happiness, hope, light. The other is where she is not, and there is dejection and darkness. Man lives consciously for himself, but serves as an unconscious instrument for the achievement of historical universally human goals. In order to understand, observe, deduce, man must first be conscious of himself as alive. We can know only that we know nothing. And that is the highest degree of human wisdom. Man lives consciously for himself, but is an unconscious instrument in the attainment of the historic, universal, aims of humanity. We are all brothers, and yet I live by receiving a salary for arraigning, judging and punishing a thief or a prostitute whose existence is conditioned by the whole consumption of my life. He remembered his mother's love for him and his family's and his friends, and the enemy's intention to kill him seemed impossible. If everyone fought for their own convictions, there would be no war. Millions of men renouncing their human feelings and reason had to go from west to east to slay their fellows, just as some centuries previously hordes of men had come from the east to the west slaying their fellows. It was necessary that millions of men in whose hands lay the real power, the soldiers who fired or transported provisions and guns, should consent to carry out the will of these weak individuals. Her maternal instinct told her Natasha had too much of something, and because of this she would not be happy. If everyone fought only for his own convictions, there would be no wars. And once he had seen this, he could never again see it otherwise, just as we cannot reconstruct an illusion once it has been explained. "If you love me as you say you do," she whispered, "make it so that I am at peace." Happiness does not depend on outward things, but on the way we see them. Without knowing what I am and why I am here, life is impossible. There are no conditions to which a man cannot become accustomed. In the name of God, stop a moment, cease your work, look around you. Work is the inevitable condition of human life, the true source of human welfare. Everything that I understand only because I love. We are asleep until we fall in love. If goodness has causes, it is not goodness. If it has effects or reward, it is not goodness either. So goodness is outside the chain of cause and effect. There is no greatness where there is not simplicity, goodness, and truth. Every man had his personal habits, passions, and impulses toward goodness, beauty, and truth. He who has a mistaken idea of life will always have a mistaken idea of death. Leo Tolstoy.